I think I'm finally getting to the bottom of my issues with squats. Now, one thing that runs in the family is just genetic, and it happens once you hit about 40, is you start having some issues with the right knee. It's not actually issues with the knee, it's more like a tendonitis that comes and goes and just a constant nagging feeling. And it's not that great, so you forget about it and you just go on with your normal activities and you don't think about it anymore. What I had started to notice, and I said this a few videos ago, is that I've been feeling extra fatigue, and I noticed that when I went to get up out of a chair after I've been sitting for a while, it seemed like it was hard to get up. And so it felt like, and I could feel it in my knees, it felt like I wasn't recovered. It was just fatigue. What it actually is, I think, is this right knee acting up, and that tendonitis that runs right through here, runs on the inside, on that inside edge. And my knee started to get stiff, so I wasn't able to bend it as far. So what I've been doing the last several days, I've been stretching. I've been bent like right, that hurts until I go a little more, and then it'll let up and stretch out. Then after that, I'll go over on the leg machine and I'll do some leg extensions at a low weight, like 20 pounds for 20 reps, for high reps. And that really helps a lot. So I've been trying to do that a couple times a day, and also to do that to warm up the knee before squats. So I didn't even realize that this was happening until it just hit me all of a sudden, where my right knee was starting to not want to bend as far. And with not bending as far, I can't get down to depth in the squat. So what was happening when I was getting up out of a chair, the brain was telling my right knee not to fire, my right leg not to fire, and I was getting up primarily with the left leg for the start of the movement. Then the right leg would kick back in. So it took a little while to try and figure this out, because your brain does this stuff and figures things out automatically. When you go to do something, if something isn't and your body isn't quite right, it automatically tries to compensate without your conscious thought. So it took a little deciphering to try and figure it out. So I'm not going to go quite to depth. I'm going to continue squatting as I was. I would like to get that extra inch or two deeper, but I'm not going to worry about it for most of the squatting, because my knee does not want to bend that far. And when it does bend that far, my brain doesn't want to use my right leg as much. So then I'm having trouble getting up out of the hole. I'm going to continue working on that and depth at light weights, but not at heavy weights for now. And I'll try and gradually build it up. I don't want to stop doing heavy weights and have my body not used to doing heavy weights. So it gives me a little direction and a little better idea on how to proceed, how to deal with this. But the stretching and the leg extensions are a big key to this, as it's really been helping a lot. And it'll help me when I do squats, as long as I'm not trying to hit, parallel or slightly below. If I stay that inch or two above, it seems to be okay. And my brain wants both legs to fire and come back up, and I have more strength there at that depth than if I try and get just that inch or so below parallel. So for now, that's what I can do. And like I said, I'll continue working on it at lightweight, and I'll continue doing the stretching and the leg extensions, which there's a machine over here. So this leg extension machine here is what I've been using. Or if I'm at home, I can use my bench at home and some bands. And you can do the same thing, you can mimic that. But this is actually better, and I really like using this machine. I'll just pull the pin out, or use that 25-pound. Put it right in there, and do the leg extensions with both legs. Like I said, it's lightweight, and high reps does help a tendonitis. So between the leg extensions and the stretching, hopefully going forward, I'll get into better shape for doing squats. Now, the other part of the puzzle is it never affected my deadlifts, which makes perfect sense, because when you go down for a deadlift, you're not bending your knee as much, you're not going all the way down into the hole and starting as deep as you do from a squat. So deadlifts were never affected. And that again told me is another clue that it's not a recovery issue. There's something more to it. But it felt like a recovery issue because I felt that fatigue in my legs, but it was being triggered by the right knee. All right, let's get going with today's workout, and we'll see how squats go. loosen up my lower body, loosen up my knees, stretch out my legs too. Mostly about shoulders on the first couple sets with just the bar. They gotta stretch to get in position. And the first one's never easy. Gotta hurry up and get this done today. There's a group on campus that are using the facilities. It's a large group. There's a few hundred high school students, and they do have a weightlifting competition up here at 1:30. It's now probably 12:15, something like that. So I have about an hour. Need 135. $185 for 2. $225 for 1. $315 for 1. $365 for 1. Didn't feel too bad. I'll have to see how it looks on the video, see how close they came to parallel.